and we're in the world of Irathil with your DM, Martin. Fun times. All right. We are live and ready when you are, dude.
um, we are experiencing technical difficulties as Fanverse has gone down and I can't play the normal music, so I have gotten this music from whatever the other thing's called. I don't really care anymore. But let's see. This one is we're near the ocean. Too loud. Anyway, last time on the campaign, like 4 months ago, I believe that you guys, being you plus like 4 other nameless people who aren't here anymore, were coming into the lighthouse to try to get money by killing a bunch of undead and taking their skulls, as requested by Shiro. Along the way, you met this vaguely undead wolf called Istankili no fucking God.
That was Dagger.
Dagger. I really wanted to say the name, but like I can't remember what it is. Isilang Kalipnia. There we go. Also known as Dagger. He came in with you, and he's having a great time being undead and kind of slightly in pain. Speaking of undead, you did see this giant sort of like pyramid structure underneath the lighthouse. You went down there with the rest of them. Dagger started acting a little bit strangely around it. So you decided maybe not the greatest time to interact with that. So you went upstairs. You are now on the 2nd floor, and you have just killed another skeleton. That is where we are. I'll do my best to get rid of all these other characters.
Okay. Well, now that that's done, shall we go through this door?
Yeah, sure. Says the Mad Cat of Shimono Nyajima. I don't know if he actually did a voice.
He didn't. None of them did.
Okay. So the cat goes up to the door and he like checks it for literally anything. But as he starts messing with it, it just sort of opens. Like the door was kind of broken anyway. He catches it quickly though, so as to not allow anything in. And he sees a few more undead in there as well. The others come up behind him.
This is where they die.
And let's see. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't want to go through combat.
That's fine.
So for the sake of my sanity, because I haven't yet thought of a way to kill off or get rid of these characters inside of this fucking lighthouse, I'm going to say... Yeah, but... I know you can help, but like...
Nietzsche wouldn't do that. We can go valiantly
is taking a very, very different turn than what I thought it was going to be.
Still works though.
I like it, but like... Anyway. So... Nanjima remembering the the undead's reluctance to actually attack Dagger. Is that correct? Yeah. It's gonna allow Dagger to go in first. Let's see. Can I just? Oh, thank God. Feeling the area. As he walks in, you... This is actually a little bit loud for me. You hear a... Let me give this character. You hear a loud crashing noise as one of the undead just sort of... Do undead make noises? What the fuck?
If you want them to, yeah. I would say...
There's just there's this sort of loud, like, booming, thunderous noise as... And then... about half a second later, through the ringing, you can hear even like sort of bones clattering through the floor. Shadow, not Shadow. Dagger doesn't say anything, but he just sort of sits there and watches something.
I would like to walk up behind Dagger and peer into the room. What was that noise, Dagger?
It's her.
It's who?
Anyway, this guy's extremely dead. It's that woman.
She made the noise.
She just killed that skeleton there. It was that loud booming noise, remember? Did you hear it?
Oh, I heard it. Well, she must be here for the bounty on skeletons too. Maybe we can work alongside her.
Do you do anything?
I would like to walk inside and, well, not walk all the way inside, but sort of peek around the corner and sort of wave my hand to try to get her attention, and then point at the other skeleton. And then use my quarterstaff to make a bashing motion.
Toward like the skeleton over
towards
here?
The skeleton, yeah. Well, actually,
Okay.
Do I notice if the other skeletons care that she killed that one?
Make an insight check. As you watch her interactions with the undead, it doesn't appear that they particularly care about her presence at all. Furthermore, it actually seems that they kind of hold her in some sort of reverence as she walks around, just sort of like destroying all of these undead.
Guys,
it almost seems a little bit routine for her. Like she's done this quite a few times before.
Okay. With that info, I will turn back and be like, guys, there's a lady in here who seems to be well versed in taking care of these skeletons. Maybe she could be an ally.
Just
But
walks
keep
up
on
to
your
this one.
toes. And as I turn
You
around,
hear the same loud boom as this one just sort of crumples to the ground.
alright. Well, at that point, I would walk in and make myself known. Hello. We've come here to do what you're doing.
She looks at you. Um, you notice that her skin is very ghostly pale. You can almost even see like uh, blue blood, blue veins on under her skin. Like she hasn't seen too much sunlight, or yeah, that's what it would look like. Um, the fabric that she's wearing seems like it would be translucent, but and it shimmers as if it were ghostly, but you can't make out anything under it. However, apart from her just looking kind of pale, she seems like a normal person. Just kind of weird clothes, pale as shit. Uh,
Well, I guess I would, are you friendly?
I guess. You don't look undead.
Oh, I definitely am not, and none of us are too, as I point to the rest of my crew back beyond the door.
Some of them walk in. They're just. There we go. That works.
Do the skeletons
Ah.
not care that you destroy them?
They don't pay me any mind.
Are you their leader?
I don't know.
You lost your memories too, then?
Uh, I not sure.
Are you
Maybe.
undead?
Make another insight check. She doesn't. Well, you look at her and she definitely shows signs that she's alive. Like she's breathing. She does like whatever a person would do being alive. I don't know. I'm like thinking of different mannerisms right now. Um, but there is an aura about her that seems somewhat off. Almost like she's at home here.
Do you know anything about that dark, gloomy pyramid in the basement?
I've been down there a few times, but not sure what it is.
Well, interesting.
Only that most of these undead seem to come from it.
And you go around and make sure that not too many of them are to be, correct?
She gives a sigh. I just go around practicing my magic. At some points, actually, I don't even remember when I got these powers. But I'm just trying to make sure I can control them.
Well, would you mind helping us get rid of the undead so that we can try to figure out what that pyramid structure is? It would be very helpful.
Sure.
Plus, maybe we can figure out how your powers work.
So she goes up to this ghoul over here, right? And You hear another. Ah, I have that bio actually. Anyway, you might want to hold your hands, paws over
Pause will be
ears,
more accurate.
and the rest of your party. They also hear this. Gloop doesn't seem to really care, but Huckleberry, Najima, and even Dagger kind of like reacts to this as you hear another loud booming noise. As she does her thing again.
Okay.
The eagle doesn't go down immediately because it's, you know, a little bit stronger than the skeletons. So she does it again. And let's see. And yeah, it goes down without too much issue. Doesn't even seem to offer up any resistance to her.
Very strange indeed, everybody. Very strange.
Yeah. Loops, like, you mind? I think he did a voice. A little bit. Do you mind if I eat them? And she's like, okay, go ahead. So Gloop's just gonna go around each, because, well, actually, he doesn't care about this. Gloop doesn't care about the skeletons. He's gonna take the ghoul though and loop it. Do-do. That is a success. That doesn't exist anymore. 2 inches. As Gloop digests that body, you see Gloop's height go up by about 2 inches. Gloop is very satisfied. Yes?
Well, if he is eating that corpse, I will go and take the head off the skeleton here, and then take the other skeleton head as well, and then offer them to Gloop to eat. Here you
Was
go.
this for like his own digestion or for storage?
For storage.
Gloop will go ahead and just take those. Keep track of this. Nope. Really?
Have they
Weren't
not
you
been
guys
using-
like?
we
Weren't
should
you
have
guys
had a
like
couple-
giving all of these to him?
Yeah, was he not tracking them?
Oh my god.
What a great character.
The
The woes
Oh
of the
no,
DM.
that's right. I remember now. We had a tally this page.
Is it that green or
So
that
you are
yellow mark at the bottom?
9. We're at 10, 11 now.
Okay. That makes sense. Now, miss, what was your name?
My name is Azalin.
Azalin. Nice to meet you.
Please.
My name is Nietzsche, and I'm a bear.
See, that's Nietzsche. You are unusual.
Aren't
Not-
we all?
She looks around. She's like, slime, undead wolf, literally a giant cat and some person.
Yeah, he might be the most normal of us all.
Huckleberry is sort of just ignoring this conversation. You're not really sure if he's insulted or not, but he doesn't really seem to care that much.
Well, do you know what's on the rest of this floor?
More undead, just like the ones you saw here.
So, would it be a waste of time for us to continue?
Well, I don't have any problem taking them out myself. If you would like to stay around a little bit longer, are you collecting bones or something?
We're collecting the skulls for an experiment, as well as somebody offered up some gold for each of them. This way we can pay for our room and board and food.
Ah,
What?
you mean that's Holden.
Yeah, Holden Harbor.
Go there sometimes.
It's a pretty lovely place. They have a lot of honey.
Do. What's his name? Paval?
I think that's it, yeah. I'm not really good at names, but I try. Here's a question for you. Would you mind helping us in the basement real quick? You could go around and take out the undead so that we can study that pyramid. Maybe we can figure out if that's the source of your powers.
Sure. Sure, we can check, I guess. I've never really thought about it before.
Well, we were going to do something about it earlier, but they wanted to explore everything first, so I guess it's a good thing we came up here.
Is there anything else you do before going downstairs?
No. We will head downstairs after she kills that last skeleton in the corner, I guess.
The rest of the undead up here.
Yeah.
Alright.
Collect all the skulls, and if there's nothing notable, we'll just head
1,
downstairs.
2, 4, 5, 6. Do you also go up to the third floor?
I guess if there's a third floor, yeah.
Is there even anything on the third floor?
Did you not finish the third floor?
There are more monsters on the So you go upstairs. Well, let's see. So between that floor and the third floor, you watch as Aslan keeps throwing out the same spell over and over again. Very easily dispatching any and all of the undead. You actually come across two ghostly figures, and they don't really pay her any mind either, despite the fact that they seem to be resisting the thunder damage that she was dealing them. She keeps going at it, and eventually they too fall. There's a ladder actually, and a trapdoor that leads to the roof. Do you want to go up there?
Sure. Just take a gander.
So you go up to the roof and you find that there is I remember, everyone remembers that the building itself is actually a lighthouse, and you find a rather large brazier there. Seems a little bit rusted over the years. There still seems to be some fuel left. left inside. You look around, you notice that you have a good lay of the land. The dead shrubberies and the lack of green seems to have spread a little bit more from last time you were able to look outside. But just about like a couple of inches, if that. Not too much.
Is there any type of flint or anything to light this lighthouse?
Yeah, you would find something to light it up with.
I will try to do that.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an intelligence check. Just to see. Wow, okay. It comes to you almost instinctually. Music stop. Did stop it. You find a piece of flint and steel and a little bit of tinder and oil and various other fuels, and you prop all of it up on a really nice little teepee, except it's not really little. It's actually kind of large considering the usage of this brazier. You light it up and it starts small, of course, but very quickly you realize that it's gonna be a little bit too hot for you to really bear up here.
Okay. If that's the case, then I will go down once it's lit.
Okay.
And tell everyone, well, I lit the lighthouse up, so hopefully it helps some people out. And I guess we should go down to the basement, huh?
Oh yeah, that's probably... Sure, Gloop says. Nyanjima and Huckleberry seem a little bit iffy about going down there.
Don't worry, you two.
But-
We have a new friend who's really good at taking these things out.
But they both glance over at Aslan, and they seem a little bit more comfortable with the idea of this person accompanying them, considering the ease with which they managed to dispatch other undead.
Okay. Well, we will head down there then.
Alright, make your way. I have to click and drag that thing. Let's see. I have to. It's, there we go. It wasn't letting me get him on the map for some reason.
Interesting. Now, Dagger, you stay here at the top.
Dagger seems a little bit uncomfortable again. He is not too reluctant about agreeing with you, so he just sort of stays at the top, kind of away. Aslan leads the way down. Do you follow her?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to watch closely as to what she does.
Okay, make a... Sure, whatever, make a perception check. Though your passive perception's good enough for this anyway. What is it, like 18?
22.
22?
Yeah. Because I have the observant
Is it a
feat.
plus 10?
I believe...
The plus 5. Oh.
It's
I see
+5
what's
for
going on
wisdom,
here.
+5 for observant, and then Yeah.
Than your proficiency.
Yep.
Okay. So you're glancing between the pyramid structure and Aslan, and every single time she casts, and she's going around dispatching each one of these, and every single time she casts one of her spells, the same one, you notice that there are little bits of purple lightning or energy that shoot off from the pyramid and actually seem to power her spells. Instead.
So,
Gosh.
Miss, is this pyramid powering your spells?
I guess. I've never really thought about it before.
Have you always lived in this lighthouse?
Well, no one really bothers me here, and the undead always come back.
How long does it take for them to come back?
Usually it takes me a little bit of time to dispatch them all. And then, are you following her around, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. And then, I go to sleep, and in the morning they are back again. Crash.
So this is all you do every day?
Sometimes. Most days. I try not to go with the townsfolk, pretty much.
Is there a specific reason, or do you just like being in solitude?
I kind of like being alone. It puts me at ease.
Makes sense. Did you used to live in Holden Harbor?
Honestly, no.
No. Do you know where you came from?
I don't remember.
That's quite unfortunate. Once she ends up getting to the next one, have you ever studied the pyramid?
Studied.
Like looked it over, try to find if there's anything that you can do to it? Maybe deactivate it from bringing all these undead so that you don't have to do this all the time?
You watch her, and she stopped. She was like she's like has her hand up, about to blast this zombie here. And you see her that she's like kind of deep thought. I don't really have to do this. I guess I could just leave. I've just never thought about it.
You've never
As
what?
she exploded. She says, she never thought about it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you cut out or not.
I may have just gotten too quiet for the microphone. And she blasts that one as well.
I continue to follow her, and once she gets to this next one, I would like to study the pyramid. I want to try to figure out if there's either an entrance to it, or if there is some sort of way to deactivate it without just completely destroying it.
Describe to me how you're going to do this.
I would look to see if there might be any like openings or like pieces of it that maybe pry off, and there's like a switch on the other side of it. Like, is it a full solid purple pyramid?
There are some looking over it, you see that there are some strange characters that you can't comprehend. They almost look like they're of a similar nature to your druidic runes, but of they seem to have the same sort of, not nature, but where your runes are druidic, these are more arcane. Make a. I want you to make 2 different checks. I want you to make an investigation check, and I want you to make an arcane. She blasts this one. As expected. Okay. That's a pretty good roll, especially considering you have a -1 to that.
Yeah.
You understand absolutely nothing about the magical nature of the pyramid. However, and also as you're going around, sort of feeling it and trying to see any hidden levers or any sort of, I guess, openings, you do notice that, however, that looking at how it's protruding from the ground, it's like there are some like loose bricks around. You get the sense that the pyramid wasn't always there, and it looks more like it came up out of the ground at some point.
Huh. And you said the bricks were loose. Can I start having the party help me move the bricks to see if we can dig to the base of the
Easy
pyramid?
enough. They seem to look to you as their leader at the moment, being probably the most outspoken person.
True.
And most level-headed. So easy enough. At the very least, Gloop and stats. Alright. It's fine. Gloop has no trouble. Basically, what happens is a brick goes in one way and sort of like shoots out the other. Huckleberry is a little bit, doesn't have too much trouble. He's able to move them 1, 2, 3 at a time. Yeah, Jima seems to have a little bit of trouble. He seems to get tired fairly quickly. But otherwise, yeah, you guys are able to clear out a good portion of the bricks. After a while, you notice that there is a point at which the face of the pyramid stops, and at the bottom you see that it's going back away from you. I guess you could describe it like that. Like
a diamond.
You see
almost?
Yeah, like a diamond.
Like a D8.
Yes, like a D8. That's good.
Okay. Seems to be some type of crystal structure.
Well, I've never really... Aslan speaks. I've never really investigated it before. Perhaps there is more to this than I thought.
Maybe you can help me discern how it got here.
Maybe I am connected to it. She puts her hand up against it, and you see where she's holding her hand, the energy from the little like energy bolts sort of coalesce around where she contacts with the pyramid or the diamond.
Okay.
and you hear kind of a deep rumbling.
Is it coming from the diamond thing, or is it...
Yes, it's coming from the diamond.
Now, try using that spell.
Okay. She concentrates for a little bit. She's never really tried using it against an inanimate object before, despite the fact that the undead don't really care to move against her. So what happens is that the energy comes out of the pyramid. It goes through her, and it basically just goes back into the pyramid. A moment passes by, and another moment, and there's a bit more rumbling, and it gets louder as the structure starts rising. It shows no signs of it. It rises about 3 inches every 20 seconds, I'll say.
Okay.
It shows no signs of either speeding up nor slowing down. Aslan is just looking at it, puzzled. She's not entirely sure what she just did.
Try removing your hand. See if it falls.
She removes her hand, and it keeps going.
Look. You've activated it somehow.
So, it keeps going, and the basement's not very large. It makes contact with the
roof.
I guess the roof, the ceiling of the basement. You think that there's a moment where it actually pauses due to like the structural resistance of the actual the basement floor or basement ceiling, and then it just keeps going at its very steady rate of 3 inches, give or take, every 20 seconds. Huckleberry, of all people, he's a very nervous fellow, and he runs out just immediately as soon as he sees that it's not stopping. He's gone, and Najima follows suit. Blip just sort of like climbs up one of the walls and goes out and like breaks open a window and goes out of it.
Do I feel that the structural integrity of the lighthouse is about to collapse? Or would it take some time?
You feel a little bit in danger.
Okay. Well, I would like to look down below the diamond thing to see if there's anything there, or if it's just, dirt that's in the shape of a diamond that's been resting there for who knows how long. And if that's all that there is, then I will...
You make a perception check, because, I like making you roll.
Oh,
for absolutely no reason. Just kidding, you would notice this anyway. So you blink a few times, and you almost don't see this, because the dirt is in fact sort of dropping off at a rate that somewhat obscures your vision. But there does appear to be some kind of... it's not terribly large, but it does look like a place where the bottom of such a structure would rest, and it really does just look like a D8 that's just sort of floating. It's like, think of that little like stand that you would set a Rubik's Cube on.
Okay.
It's like that, but for this, in this particular orientation of the hedron.
Gotcha. Does it look man-made or?
You're unsure of the origins of this structure.
Gotcha, but it's here for a reason. Miss, do you think we should get out of here?
She looks up. Yeah. Let's go ahead and.
Okay.
And she skedaddles. Dagger also skedaddle. Everyone skedaddles. You find yourselves back outside, because as you're walking back through the lighthouse, let's see, which one was basement? I don't. Anyway, either way, you have to make your way through one of these corridors, whatever. As you're doing so, bits of the wall start bulging outwards. Oops, no. It's already outside. Everyone else seems to have made their way outside, coming in earlier than you do. I think... Which one goes down?
I'm pretty sure the one that I'm at right now.
Okay. So, you're skedaddling. Right?
Oh yeah.
And you see towards your right as you're going up, and you're hearing like all of this crumbling and various things falling. And you see toward your right, the wall is sort of tipping over. And the floor starts to bulge about here.
Okay.
And you can actually make out the other side of the wall over here from just a few holes that are inside of here. So you make your way outside. And I didn't doors thing. Because I didn't actually think about cause and effect. But you're watching as the lighthouse sort of starts, I guess. The outer walls of the lighthouse seem relatively fine for a little bit of time. You actually see the hedron. In all 5, 6 of you are watching. Volthor is just looking out there. What the hell did you do?
Well, we met a nice lady who was destroying all the undead in there, very quickly and easily. And she touched the little pyramid thing on the bottom, and now this is happening.
You're all watching this as the hedron makes its way. It takes a
good while.
A good while, yeah, but it never really slows down. No one comes by because no one's really sees it. No one sees anything. The hedron eventually does break through the ceiling of the lighthouse, and it's at that point the rest of the lighthouse actually crumbles in on itself. The last part of whatever was holding it up in the middle, finally giving way. The brazier actually manages to balance on top of it. It almost looks kind of like a little crown that's just sort of sitting on top of this floating, spinning giant hedron thing. It's still on fire. The fuel is still pretty, going pretty well. Some of the bits of embers fall down, but there doesn't seem to be any real risk of it catching any of the dead plants on fire.
Okay.
Because all of the lighthouse was made out of stone. Not particularly flammable.
Truth.
Aslan looks at you, it's like, oops.
Well, I can't say that you're at fault. I sort of egged you on to try it, and this is what we get. But this is how you learn new things. So now you've activated this thing. Do you know if the undead came directly from it, or if they spawned close to it?
No, I never bothered to check.
Well, let's hope that they don't just start raining from the sky.
And as you say that, skeleton, of all things, just sort of like pops into existence under it.
Oh.
And falls to the ground. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, given... I don't know. I guess they could. I guess they could pop from the sky, but... where would it get the bones?
Do you think maybe it was refining the bones from the ground around here? Was there some sort of ancient battlefield?
I assume that many people died over the course of the ages.
And that was just extracting their bones and bringing them closer.
I feel like that's pretty close. Although I'm not sure how they came to be inside of the lighthouse.
Nor how it became a part of the lighthouse. Or, for that matter, how nobody ever noticed it. I would think you would find a large diamond purple structure such as that in the bottom of your lighthouse fairly quickly, but oh well, I'm just a bear.
Well, she thinks for a minute. Well, didn't really look like they had whoever it was, had any plans to dig further into the ground. Perhaps when the lighthouse was built, they just never noticed it.
All too strange. And it's still continuing upward, I take it?
After a while, it actually stops. It's only about 20 feet higher than the lighthouse actually used to be. It still has the rest of the brazier on it, and it's just spinning there.
Very weird.
It's actually starting to become a little bit dark, but you notice, interestingly enough, that you think that the Hedron's actually giving off a little bit of light. It's not much, considering it's starting. It's like sundown. So it's starting. The sun is starting to set, but it does appear to give off light, and it is a rather large structure. The fires have subsided mostly, so you're not 100% sure.
Do you feel any different?
What? Me?
Yes.
Now
that it's further away from you. Dagger,
Well,
do you feel different either?
Yes. I feel, I guess, as normal as I usually felt when it was about this far away from me. Or further. It was definitely what was pulling me toward here.
Interesting.
but I can't tell you for what reason.
I feel like it has some sort of connection with the dead, and it wants to bring them back somehow. But it does it in such a way that they don't retain their memories completely, and they just want to eat stuff.
Well, regardless of the structure, didn't you need to go back to the harbor?
Well, yes, and obviously it's too far up for me to do anything about it. Or any of us for that matter. So...
You see as Volthor just sort of like launches a, let's see, firebolt, I think. I think he's a fire person. Yeah, he launches a firebolt at it, and it just sort of bounces off. It doesn't even look like the structure actually moves when it makes impact.
Whatever that thing is, it's a lot stronger than what we are now.
Yeah, and this is Volthor. I guess maybe we should just leave it. It's not doing anything.
No, and we can...
Except for the skeletons.
Yeah, and I'm sure once it goes back in the ground, the skeletons won't really have a place to spawn, so that's if it goes to the ground. Regardless, we can come back another day to see what it's doing, if anything, and I'm sure we'll be much stronger by then. Shall we all go back to Holden Harbor?
The rest of the party is just sort of like shrugs at you. He's like, alright, yeah, sure, whatever. Nothing else to do. I guess we've got all the skeleton skulls we're gonna get.
Azura, would you like to come with us too?
Azalin.
Azalin. Like I said, very bad with names.
Well, my bed's probably gone and destroyed, so I guess I'll come with you.
As I look over the rubble, unless it's made of steel, yes.
The south part is destroyed. I'm sure.
Most definitely. But grass is all you really need.
You look around and there's not much grass nearby. It's either dead or covered in stone.
Okay. Well, I guess we will head back to Holden Harbor.
Let's see. Does the music work? Nope. Other song. Not that one. You make it back to Holden Harbor, and the two guards, and you're coming in from... Let's get at the world map real. You're coming in from the south,
Yeah.
or I guess the east. So, with that context in mind. Stop. Oh, because I have it set to autoplay the other song.
Oh.
Which can't play. So anyway. These two guards. Or, so I don't forget, we also have this one, who aren't that big, but be scary.
I have come to destroy.
You're right. They're with you. Oh, obviously. Halt, bear! What is that thing?
What thing?
And you can see in the distance. It's a little bit faint, but the sun has gone down. More, it's dark, but in the distance you see like this diamond of purple energy. The top of it a little bit obscured by the brazier.
Oh, that. Well, so we were going to the lighthouse to figure out why there were undead everywhere, and it turns out that that thing has something to do with it. But when we touched it, it started to fly, and we could no longer reach it, so now it's just kind of there.
What is it doing?
Well, we waited for a little while, and it's not doing anything. I don't think its powers reach from the distance that it's currently at above ground, so I feel that as long as we keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't touch ground without someone being there, we are safe.
They deliberate amongst one another. From what you can hear with your passive perception of 22, they're just kind of deciding what to do with you guys and what to do with this information. They don't sound particularly threatening or anything. They're just trying to decide on a course of action.
We plan to go to the administration sector to tell the person that gave us this thing to do. And
the bounty, yes, of course. Follow us.
Very well.
They lead the way back over. It's not every day that a group of adventurers, particularly so misfit as yourselves, are wandering through town with a armed escort. So you do catch the eyes of people that are closing up shop, various families that trying to like get their children out of your way. Make sure none of you are particularly disturbed by them. You make your way back to administration, and Shiro, bless her heart, is just leaving for the day. She's looking at you all. It's like, well, did you succeed?
Mostly.
Mostly.
Well,
Gloop starts like spitting out skulls. I see you've come back with a bounty.
Yes, we did very well on that part. The only issue, they seem to be coming from some type of purple pyramid structure that was underground in the lighthouse. The thing is, when we touched it, it started to fly, and then it got out of reach.
Wait. Touched it?
Yes.
Structure, hold on, back up. Under the lighthouse.
Correct. A purple structure was sitting there, right? And it glowed very ominous, and it was also the cause to all the skeletons and zombies around the area. I'm not sure exactly what was going on, but my theory is that it was somehow pulling the remains of those that have died around that lighthouse, and it was popping them out nearby.
As you're giving her your explanation, you can hear a lot of noise coming from the south. Not screaming, but there's a lot of commotion.
Coming from where?
The docks.
The docks, okay. We should go check that out, huh?
Yes, that's probably a good idea.
I wonder if they're screaming at the structure being there.
You all make your way down to the docks. There is a rather sizable group of people sort of staring out toward the giant purple light. Well, I guess at this distance it's not really giant, but it's definitely noticeable. In lieu of a lighthouse, it's... Considering the fact that you're actually really freaking far away from it, it's actually rather impressive how much light it's actually shedding. And the fact that you can actually see it from this distance is particularly interesting. Considering it wasn't that bright earlier, under the ground, or before it ascended.
Mm-hmm.
Aslan has been quiet this entire time. She hasn't made any motion to say anything. The townspeople are asking questions like, "What is that?" A few of them are a little bit more worried about it and are saying such things as it's the ends of times. Everyone, gather your children. We must run away.
Now. I would like to try to calm everybody down by saying, we have already made sure that whatever the thing is, it doesn't do anything really except for float there and serve as a new lighthouse.
Early persuasion.
Okay.
One of the sailors, he's been looking at it for a while. It's quite visible, but it still worries me. The other townspeople, the one that was shouting about gathering up your children and your things has already gone. Presumably to gather their children and things.
More than likely.
But you make a decent enough argument. There's definitely still a little bit of unrest going around, but the people are definitely able to see it. So your logic is sound. Very well. The issue of the lighthouse has been taken care of. Shire interjects. I guess the structure that floats there doesn't seem to need to be maintained, other than. And she cuts herself off before she says anything else. It will serve as our new lighthouse. Previous one has been
decommissioned.
And this one will stand in its place.
Float.
Hey, everyone, go home, get a good night's sleep. And with the power of her authority, everyone would just sighs and actually goes home. You get the sense that they rather like Shiro and respect her as a leadership of Holden Harbor.
Okay.
You, pale one, what is your name? It's Azalin. Shiro looks at her. I've seen you around before. I don't usually stay around very often. Shiro, looks at her, sort of pacing around her, inspecting her.
Shiro, Aslan actually helped us kill most of the undead in the lighthouse. Is there any
Did she
reason...
now?
She did. She's very useful. Would you say that you're the leader of the town?
Well, yeah, of course. I'm what one would call a mayor.
Very good. Well, I guess now that we've gotten you a new lighthouse, is there anything else that you need help with around town? Me and my friends are always looking for work.
She ushers you back to her office. Whatever she wants to say, she doesn't want to say out loud.
Okay.
The two guards that were accompanying you go back to their post to finish the rest of their shift. Loop's not very interested and goes off somewhere.
Goodbye, Gloop.
I'll be at Ustach.
Very well, we'll come and scoop you up later.
The rest of you, she ushers into her office. She locks the door. She looks out the window, make sure no one's listening in, and shuts curtains. After lighting up a couple of candles and I'm sure you all remember the fact that there were many undead. Dispatched them. They've always been kind of a constant menace. Or a constant menace. Presumably, that's a structure, that's object in the sky over there, is what's causing this, right?
Correct. At least that's what we came to see, as it did sort of spit one up when... Or no, never mind. You said that was a joke.
That was a joke. You do remember that you saw that undead were spawning around when you were down there without Naslin earlier. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
From what you remember, they did seem to sort of phase up through the ground somehow. Something magic.
Yeah. So yeah, something magic, and then they just came and walked out of the structure and were there. And we had Aslan. She was able to somehow destroy the skeletons with the power of the structure itself. And then after that, we all touched it, and it started to float. And now it's up there.
Wait. Aslan, this woman here.
Correct.
She can control the power of that object?
Well, control is a very loose way to say it. But yes. She has a connection to it, I would say, actually. Right, Aslan?
I guess, something. Anyway.
So I don't believe that she, actually controls it per se, but she definitely gets power from it.
Shira looks. Her brow is furrowed. She's sort of like leaning on her desk, thinking. This goes on for about 30 seconds. Is it... She's directs her question towards Aslan. Is it a more... you feel less power from it standing over here? Aslan looks like she's sort of feeling out the energy. And actually, Dagger interjects. You see, I came to this area because I felt a sort of a pull, but it does feel weaker farther away you are from it. Shira turns back towards Aslan, who kind of just sort of nods. Very well.
So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a threat while it's floating, but I would definitely keep guards posted watching it to make sure that if it does go down, that we send people over there quickly to see if it does what it was doing earlier. Otherwise, there's probably just a few stragglers, walking around out there, but other than that, it should be pretty safe.
Perhaps we should send a perimeter. A few armed men to make sure that no undead gets out.
I would say that'd be a good idea.
Previously, they seemed contained inside of the lighthouse, but without a structure there.
Sounds like a plan to me. If you have men to spare, I would probably do that. Just to be on the safe side, I would say after a few days, if nothing else comes of it, and it doesn't move, well, you have a new lighthouse.
Brady?
What's up?
Did you say something?
You didn't hear that?
No.
Oh. I said maybe it's a good idea to put a couple men around just to make sure patrol the area for any undead. And if there are none after a few days, then I think you can be a little more relaxed about it. Until it starts moving, if it ever starts moving.
Very well. What was your name, young man? Old man? Hold on, let me actually look at his background. I think he was like a soldier or something. Wrote anything down? He did. His background is a soldier. It's good enough for me. Yes, I believe I've seen your face among the rank before. Sure. You can have that job, I guess. We'll fill out the appropriate paperwork. Go to the barracks and take this. She hands him a seal that it's not like in magical or enchanted anyway, but it does look very official.
Mm-hmm.
And you recognize it as the seal of her office around here. Take this and go to the barracks and find some willing and able men. They're all very loyal, and sure they won't give you any trouble with that if you just show them that seal. Thank you. And Huckleberry, I guess, bows and goes off, seemingly content with the idea of a consistent flow of cash.
Makes sense to me. Bye, Huckleberry. It's nice meeting you for one session.
Right?
Galera?
That leaves yourself, Nyanjima, and Irathil as the only three characters that have any sort of chance of actually joining in future sessions. Because the other two said
They were done.
Mhm.
Okay.
What do you do now? Shiro seems to not have anything else to do. Well then, she leads you out of her office.
Yeah. Well, if you have anything you need investigated or taken care of, we can be found at Gustav. Gustav. It's really hard for a bear. It's not really made for our mouth.
Irathil interjects. Gustav.
Yes, him. We'll be at his inn. He's given us a place to stay for a little while.
Very well. Here. And you look down at the ground and you notice that there's just a pile of, what was it, 22 skulls that, yeah, 22. That Gloop had, dropped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the bounty.
Here. She goes back inside. And she comes... there's a few moments that pass by and she comes out with a sack of money. I didn't really count very thoroughly, but I think this should cover it. Nyajima extends his hand, and she looks at him and just sort of goes to you anyway, and hands you the sack.
Neat. I will.
You look inside, and this is beyond your level of counting.
Well, I know there's at least 5, so I think we got everything we need, guys.
Back to the tavern?
Correct.
Alright, so you head back to the tavern. And with Aslan and Dagger in tow.
Is Gloop even there?
Gloop is actually there. Gloop is eating.
Of course.
Just like some fucking fried chicken, some steak, meat as well. Just, you know, whatever Gloop can get his hands on. This dirty, grubby little slime. I don't know why the music.
If you don't have it on the loop function, it won't loop.
I do have it on the loop function.
Oh yeah, and it says that Rivertop Audio should be playing.
I turned it back on just now.
There you
go. Gustav is sitting there with Lucius and 2 other people that you haven't seen before. Quick question: do you see names for any of these other characters, like Dagger and
no?
Excellent. See this guy.
Okay.
And shit. Where was it? Fuck. No. Just pull the picture somewhere. You see that guy? He's human, bearded. He has guns. 3 of them. And a short sword. No, not short sword. A rapier. It's on the sheet. Ah, there it is.
Mel Gibson.
He's human. Yeah, Mel Gibson.
Mel, my friend. I'm just kidding.
No. They're drinking up a storm, and they seem to be very friendly with. Well, at least the bearded one seems to be very friendly with Gustav. You notice as you walk in, there's a patch on this guy's left arm, like, you know, where insignias would be.
Yeah.
And it bears a resemblance to the flaming grail that's on the flag of that's on Gustav's wall.
Okay. As I walk in, I would like to introduce myself to everybody. Hello, Gustav. You have new friends.
They're not really new.
As I see that man's insignia, and then I would like to look at the symbol on Gustav. Ooh, actually, are you guys part of the same crew that Gustav was used to be on?
This guy, he turns around, and used to be a lad on my. I hate pirate voices.
Hate doing them, or just hate them in general?
I don't know. Doing them. I didn't actually practice any of this before.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Arr! We used to be on the same crew.
That works. I can try to mimic that. But it used to be my first mate, actually.
Oh.
And then he decided to go to settle down. Didn't really like the pirating life.
So you're still a pirate?
This guy looks at him. Captain, You think you really should just be saying that? What are they going to do?
Well, I don't have any issues with pirates as long as they conserve nature.
They can what?
Conserve nature.
Oh, okay. I thought you cut out for a second. I legitimately thought you said conserve me, and I was like, oh, that's not good. I was like, oh, I better check to see what he actually said. Serve nature, you say. Tell me, Bear, what is your name?
Oh, I'm Nietzsche.
Nietzsche.
Yes.
So you want people to serve nature?
Well, you don't
Not
have to
Nietzsche.
serve it. I feel like you just have to make sure that you give it its room, you know?
Well, we're not really much for being on land, so
Yes, and it's hard
I
to
think
taint
it's-
water.
I think it's more of an issue of the creatures of the sea conserving us. And the other Ustock and the other one, like, sort of chuckled there. And you see Gustav, he's like remembering something that he didn't really want to remember.
Was that a funny joke that was actually a very bad experience?
Had a run-in with a kraken once.
Oh, I've heard about them. They're about this fucking big.
God.
And I hold out my arms real wide.
As wide as you can.
Probably, what? Double
Probably
the
a lot
size?
bigger than that.
Truth. So do you have a ship?
Do I? I have ship. Doctor right here, right now.
Oh,
In fact, I wanted to talk to Yusak about something I saw outside. You happen to know what that purple light is?
well,
He looks at you all serious like.
Gustak does, or Beardy?
Beardy.
Okay. Well, we actually are the reason that that thing's floating right now.
You! We haven't had a lighthouse here in ages.
We were told.
Good job! He like gives you a thumbs up. All real anime like.
Yeah. Well, it was an accident, but it worked out for the better, I think.
Who's this pretty lass with you?
Oh, her name is Azlyn.
Aslan is not paying him any attention. It's a quiet one, isn't she?
They're all pretty quiet. But that's
The rest
okay.
of them have gone to sleep.
Okay. But yeah, Aslan we met at the lighthouse, and she was the main reason why we were able to make it float like that. But we're not, we're not really sure exactly how long it'll stay up there. Hopefully forever, but if not, we'll go figure it out.
Well, never seen anything like that before in my life, so I'm going between like southern and whatever the hell I was doing else.
Yeah, you're good.
One day I'll figure it out.
Now, is there any particular reason why you find yourself in this port?
I was just in the area. Decided to pop in on my good friend Gustav.
Where are you headed?
A little bit here, a little bit there. Why?
Well,
Go somewhere?
I don't think we need to go anywhere, but I remember someone saying that they wanted to adventure south at some point.
I don't who said that.
Oh, maybe. Well, then we will forget that I said that. Well, it could be interesting life on the high seas, but I don't know if it's for me.
That sure is interesting, alright. The other one actually speaks for once. You sure do see a lot of crazy folk. And
Crazy folk on the sea.
you notice that his ears are like slightly tinted.
Okay. Slightly tipped, so half elf.
From what you can gather.
Yeah. Gustav,
Yeah, what is it?
do you plan to go back to the high seas with these men?
That's the thing. Captain here was over here trying to actually bring me back. And it's been a little bit quiet. I'm gonna have to think about it.
Well, you may not like the sea as much as you used to when you were younger, I bet, but I could see it being a positive thing to get some fresh air for a little while, especially since people don't seem to really like your tavern, even though there's great things about it.
One of the, as you say that, one of the, like, tridents on the wall just sort of fall. The screw gets a little bit, the nail gets a little bit too loose, and it just.
Well, that's very ominous, isn't it?
You know what? You know what? Maybe I will go with Captain Shelley here.
Captain, do you need other crewmates?
Well, actually, I have a little bit of a problem.
Is your ship stuck?
The ship's fine. It's just there was a little bit of a mishap with the rest of the crew. Honestly, kind of lucky we actually made it back here with only 6 people.
Oh, wow, only 6. Was it a mutiny?
Remember those sea creatures?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was one of those. But you gotta adapt to these situations.
That is true.
It's like, I'm sure you can appreciate this, but it's kind of the way of nature.
It very much is. You have to either go with the flow or be swallowed up whole.
Swallowed whole. I don't know if that was a joke.
Oh,
We're joking, right?
I mean,
He looks at you like really serious. Making sight check.
insight check. Boom.
Actually, I have a character sheet off. He's not. He's not very good at holding this for very long. He looks very like intimidating. Right as he's staring down this bear. He's actually shorter than you, by the way. Like, you standing up, you're still very, very tall. Where were you, like 6 foot something?
I believe it says
6'9". Yeah, he's like a good foot shorter than you.
Very good.
He's like looking at you, looking kind of up. He just bursts out laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation. He's got this this slime that's just been chowing down on food for the past like 45 minutes. His old friend Gustav just has been having a great time talking with him. And now there's a talking bear,
Mm-hmm.
along with some random pretty woman and their dog. And a cat walked in along with the lizard, and they just went to bed, just laughing at the ridiculousness of it all.
I will agree. It's kind of a little bit of a mixed match of various things, but we're starting to become a nice little unit.
Ah, were those your teammates, I guess? Your crew?
For the time being, yes. I'm sure once they get bored, they'll want to look for work elsewhere with new people, maybe, but...
That one. The lizard, I think I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh?
Somewhere on the high seas. But I'm not sure. Anyway, it's good to meet you, Nietzsche. We're gonna crash here for the night. Let the rest of the men relax as they will.
Very well. We're staying here as well for now. And if you end up needing more crewmates, I guess if the pay is good so we can buy more honey, then we could join. Otherwise,
I want more honey.
Always honey.
All right, that's one aspiration, I guess. The names. Anyway, we haven't properly introduced ourselves. Well, I haven't anyway. My name's Johnson Shelley. This is Medford Astley. Pleasure to meet you, Nature.
Oh, it's Nietzsche.
Nietzsche.
But you said Captain Shelley. And what was the other man's name?
Medford Astley.
Medford Astley. Medford, I have a question.
Yeah?
Do you have a brother named Rick?
You know? It's not every day that someone guesses that correctly. Kind of a singing type, you know?
That's what
I really liked him.
He's got a good album. And Captain Shelley, what is the name of your ship?
The Flaming Grail.
Flaming Grail. Very nice. Well,
you look at the flag, and it is indeed a Flaming Grail.
That makes sense. Well, it's very nice to meet you two gentlemen. But I think it's time for us to all turn in for the night.
Very well. Just a few more drinks, and you see him start, like, tipping a little bit, and we'll go off to bed, too.
Very good.
Go ahead and regenerate all of your things.
Before I go to sleep, I will cast Goodberry.
As one does. Very well, you have 10 good berries. That will last you for the rest through the next day.
Yes. Okay.
Everyone else regains their HP.
Did you have any more planned, or do you want to stop and then see if they come back for the next session?
We can do some more roleplay. I actually have the map for the boat anyway. But that's up to you.
I feel like
I have nothing to do.
Yeah. I feel like if the other two, is it 2 or 3 people that would want to join?
I know Jeff actually has some interest in actually joining. I think Justin was saying that he would rejoin out of being polite.
And then what about that Deathclaw girl? Who's that? Because I remember she was going to join us on the next session, and then you got busy.
Oh, shit. I forgot to message her. Yep. Anyway. I don't know how I'd introduce her anymore. The Lighthouse was easy. I'll think about it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just, right now, it's just, I guess, those three. Not putting much stock into Justin actually joining.
Makes sense. He was Niyajima, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can, I'm down to call it right there. That way, the role play that ensues, because I feel like we're about to get on a ship. Just in case, for whatever reason.
Get on a ship.
Yeah, could. Just in case they don't want to get on a ship for whatever reason. Maybe the cat gets cat sick or something.
Maybe.
So, I'm going to end my stream real quick. Be right back. Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed that nice little roleplay session, and we will see you next time. Peace!